Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm bringing you Smackin' Sweaties episode 92. I know I just uploaded one the other day, and I wasn't actually going to put any more episodes on the main channel. I was going to do a couple on the second channel, but I just got to put this episode on here, man. After what I experienced, you guys need to see this with your own eyes, man. I couldn't believe it, you know? It would have been pretty sad had this happened to me in 2013 or 2014 even. Well, actually, this has happened to me a few times back in the prime multi-team days, but for this shit still to be happening in 2017, I mean, in 5 years of doing this series, these literally gotta be the most pathetic people I have ever seen. So let me just give you a basic summary of what you're about to witness, and then we'll break it down, all right? Because this is gonna be like a 2013 prime episode, exact same format. Last time I had to explain some stuff, but we're gonna get right into it, all right? So basically, me and Tolly 2v3'd some kids, and they got 16 point clubbed. Now, the funny thing is, they were actually so terrible that the third team of randoms actually got more points than they did. The people we're playing against got outscored by the third team. Just let that soak in for a second. But whatever, nothing I haven't seen before. You know, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but let me just add in a few other factors here. Number one, these kids themselves were actually on anti-accounts. Now, just recognize the significance of that fact right there. These guys were literally going into multi-team on anti-accounts looking for competition to play against. And to actually make this even worse, they actually knew that we were on anti-accounts as well. They knew we were actually good because we had already played them in a game before this when they late joined us. So that's the reason they stayed against us, because we don't really look like kids to play against, you know what I mean? We're on random accounts, but they knew what was up, so they stayed in against us because they were looking for good people to play. Just let that soak into your brain for a second. Just let that marinate in there, okay? These guys were on anti-accounts looking for competition, and their best effort they could come up with was 16 points, and they got outscored by the third team. I just don't get it, man. Like, why even waste your time? This is literally a waste of your time if that's what's gonna happen to you. Now, if all of that wasn't bad enough, here's what really takes it to the next level. This is where it gets really bad. About halfway through the game, once they realized that they didn't really have any chance of winning, they felt the presence of two veteran Call of Duty athletes on the hill. And it was clear that they've never felt something like that before, okay? So they just didn't know what to do with themselves. They were confused. So what they then decided to do was try to hit me offline. Yes, in 2017. They were actually targeting the host of the game, which just so happened to be me, thankfully, because that's what makes it so funny. But yes, in 2017 Black Ops 2 multi-team, people are still trying to hit you offline. And notice that I said try. That's what makes it funny, because they couldn't even do that properly. So they basically have failed in every single aspect you could think of. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. I cannot wait to break this one down, man. Okay, so that raid gameplay that you were just watching isn't the actual gameplay. That's the game before where they late joined us. It's important to the story as well. We'll come back to it at the end and I'll point something out to you. So just keep that in the back of your head for now. But first, I just want to show you their accounts real quick to confirm that they are anti. So the people in question here are these food bully kids. Don't know what the deal is with their name. They all have the same name. I think they just changed whether it's an I or an L in bully so they could all look the same. And you'll also notice that one of them has AT in his clan tag, and that's also the kid who hit me offline or attempted to hit me offline. Obviously, they didn't know it was me, but it just further proves that they aren't just random people. And now if we take a look at their combat records, the first one isn't too obvious, but if you know what to look for, it's pretty easy to spot. So you can see he has pretty shit stats. stats, but a decently high SPM for someone who would be that bad of a player. Favorite equipment is the EMP. That's another red flag. Now, if we look at the second guy, his stats are like glitched or something. I don't know. It says he has 100 kills, but he's level 55, which clearly doesn't add up. But his favorite medal is the Revenge medal. His favorite equipment is EMP, so he's got some red flags on his account as well. But his crossbow is his favorite weapon. Like, I don't know what the deal is with his account. It's just really weird. Next, if we look at this Roy guy, he's not on an anti-account. He's just on a regular account, I think. But he is playing with them, and as you can see, Revenge medal, MA, EMP, all the typical red flags, I guess you would say, but this guy's not really hiding his account. But now, if we look at this last guy, okay, this is when it becomes completely obvious, all right? Favorite game mode, hardpoint. Favorite medal, Revenge. Favorite weapon, M8. Favorite equipment, EMP. Favorite score streak, Guardian. That's literally as obvious as it could get as far as anti-accounts are concerned. Like, you can't even deny that one. So let's just start the gameplay now. All right, as you can see, we are playing some Hijacked hardpoint. I am playing on Old Flounder. Tolerance is playing on Succulent Door, and we're gonna be getting into a little 2v3 action versus two of the Food Bully kids, and that Roy kid is also on their team. Now, if you remember back to the beginning, I just showed you their combat records. There are actually 3 Food Bully kids. One of them ends up joining in later. I don't know what the deal is there, but I guess they just have 4 people who want to play, and there's only 3 spots, obviously, so they just kind of rotate players or something, because in that raid game that you were watching in the beginning, the 3 Food Bully kids were together, and the Roy guy was the 4th player on another team, so I don't know what the deal is. It's just weird, but anyways, about a little over 1 minute into the game, the 3rd Food Bully kid connects, and he gets placed on our team, ironically. So I guess now he's like going against his own friends. Like I said, man, I don't understand what these kids were doing. It's very weird. But shortly after that kid joins our team, you'll see that the host leaves the game and it migrates host to me. So now from that point forward, I'm host of the game. That's very important to note. And then immediately after that, Tolly calls in a VSAT. So, you know, I'm thinking at this point, this was like around the time where they've kind of started to realize that they aren't gonna win this game. You know, we're on the 3rd hill, and these kids don't even have double digits yet, okay? We got a VSAT up, full control of bottom hill. It's looking rough for them, okay? They really don't have a chance. So I'm assuming it was at this time that they decided, instead of trying to win the actual game, they should just hit the host offline. You'll notice that I spawn out and I decide to go underground to rotate to the hill. Thankfully, I did this because I ran into this kid. So you'll see there's a kid who spawned underground and he's just sitting in the corner and he's not playing whatsoever. Ironically, as I mentioned earlier, it's the kid with AT in his clan tag. Jesus, man, I can't make this shit up. This is the kid who is pulling IP, sitting in the corner, and then about a minute or so later, you'll notice that it looks like everyone is kind of lagging, and then you'll see when I pull up the scoreboard, I'm on a 4 bar, and everyone else in the lobby is on a 2 bar, and they're like lagging around. So what he's doing is he's hitting the host of the lobby, which, as you saw earlier, migrated to me when the other kid left, but I happen to actually have pretty good internet, so he can't actually disconnect me. He can just attempt to, as you're seeing, but what actually ends up happening, because I'm not getting disconnected, is he's causing the game to lag for everyone else except for me. And it's hilarious because this actually ended up helping our team. Not that we needed it, like we were gonna win anyway, but because they were all lagging, we literally just went down low, or I went down low to the bottom hill, and I just stood on it and collected all the time while all these kids were lagging. You'll see me like turn on this kid by the ladder. It's like the worst turn on you'll ever see, but he's lagging, so he can't kill me. So he keeps the attack going for like 2 minutes or so until he realizes that, yeah, I'm not gonna go offline, so he's kind of just wasting wasting his efforts here. And you'll see that he cancels it, and then when I pull up the scoreboard again, everyone is back to a 4 bar, and it's back to normal, nothing weird going on. And now the funny part here is, I'm not sure what happened, but that third food bully kid that got put on our team, he's now lagging and he's on a 1 bar. So either A, he thought it was the wrong IP, which is unlikely because he could see everyone lagging, so clearly the host was getting hit. So what actually happened is, I think he was trying to make it a 2v3 again, and he was trying to get rid of one of my teammates, but he didn't realize that it was actually his friend that he was doing it to. I think he was trying to do tolerance, but he has no idea what he's doing, so he's hitting his own friend offline at this point, which is fucking hilarious. And then what makes it even better is, he couldn't even hit him offline either, so he failed to hit me, and now he's trying to hit his own friend offline, and he's failing to hit him as well. This dude got the great value booter or something, like that shit just ain't working. So overall, this whole game from start to finish was just a complete failure from these kids. I don't know what they were doing. I can't make this shit up. Like, it doesn't get any more AIDS than this gameplay right here. So now you see the final scoreboard. You see they got 16 point club. They all went negative. You can tell which was the kid hitting people off because he's only 11 and 12 because he spent half the game sitting in spawn trying to hit people offline, whereas his teammates who were actually playing got 35 deaths because they were getting shit on. Also, I would like to point out, you can see their friend who got put on our team is sitting on a 1 bar getting hit offline, but he's not disconnecting either. But hold on, we're not done yet. Now the final piece of the puzzle comes into play. So you remember that raid gameplay that I showed you in the beginning? Those same food bully kids joined that game late. We were playing against some other kids and they joined in late, but what actually happened there is they hit the host offline in that game as well. Just take a look at this. Notice first of all that this time the 3 food bully kids are all on one team, and that Roy kid got put on our team, but I mean, he's 0-3, so he's not really helping us, but you can see that they clearly late joined. Anyways, once again, you can see they're hitting the host offline. This time, I'm not the host, so you can see what it looks like from everyone else's perspective. You can see that I'm kind of just lagging around all over the place. You see on the scoreboard that we're all on a 1 bar, and the V-Ha guy that was host of the game is on a 4 bar, kind of how it was on the Hijacked game, except this time the roles are reversed. And also, this guy's internet isn't as good as mine, I guess, because he actually does disconnect after like 5 seconds, and you can see that the lobby ends. Now, originally when this happened, we thought that the kid dashboarded, alright? We're like, okay, well, we were shitting on these kids, now he dashed or whatever, because that happens all the time. But now, looking back at it, and now knowing what happened in the second gameplay, it's all adding up, because when you dashboard, it doesn't lag like that, and that's not the message you get after the game. I've been dashboarded on doing this a million times. Actually, you can just check last episode. It's an immediate disconnect from the lobby, and you get a different message pops up in the post game. So it kind of makes more sense now watching it of what actually happened, you know, now that I know what these kids actually do. But at the time, I didn't know any of this, so I just thought the kid dashboarded, and I didn't really think much of it. So basically, to wrap it up, these got to be the saddest kids I've ever seen in my entire life. And I reference them as kids. I'm hoping that they're kids. If they're over the age of like 14 doing this, like, I'm not even going to start with that. But just think about this for a second, all right? We got them making anti-accounts in 2017, which I don't even know why they're doing that. You know, the only reason I was doing it, I'm not even doing it anymore. After seeing this and experiencing this AIDS, I'm done. I don't even want to step foot in that playlist again. I'm done with it. But the only reason I was doing it originally was to try to get some episodes for YouTube. So I don't know what their reasoning is, but besides that, they're not even good. Like, I don't know who they're beating. Like, if we're 16 point clubbing these kids, who are they beating? Like, imagine losing to them. You really got to be terrible. So I don't even know. And then the games where they're losing, which I'm assuming is the majority of them, they just try to DDoS the host instead. Like, this got to really be the most pathetic shit I've ever seen, man. Like, this would be pretty sad if it was 2013, but it's 2017, man. This game is so old. I don't get it, man. Why even bother wasting your time doing this, man? I don't know what it is about Black Ops 2, but it's truly cancerous. That's the only way to describe it. And these kids are definitely stage 5, you know what I'm saying? Terminally ill. There's no hope for them at this point. They are a lost cause, man. I'm still in disbelief that this happened to me in 2017, man. I haven't been DDoSed on Xbox in like 3 years. But then Black Ops 2 comes out, and I'm literally getting hit offline in the first week that it comes out. Like, I can't make this shit up, man. I'm done. You know what? I'm done. Thank you guys all for watching. This video might be kind of long, but I had to put this on the main channel, man. All right, this time, I promise, it will be the last episode, because I know nobody even knows what the fuck this series is anymore, and nobody cares, but I had to put this one up, man. Anyways, thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day, and peace out.